Okay, all right. So now, if you who wants to take that responsibility as a BA, right? Can we have a BA lead, right? To be assigning this work to people, right? Adegbero, you are the SM, so I'm going to take you as the SM lead, okay? If
All
that's
right.
okay. All right, cool. Can I have a BA if you want to choose someone as a BA lead? I mean, okay. Can we have a volunteer? Oluwale, do you want to
Yes.
volunteer?
Yes. Yes. Hello. Good evening.
Okay,
Yes, that's
all
right.
right.
Yes.
Okay, cool. All right. So Oluwale, I would be giving you some stories to write, right? Take me now as your product owner, giving you stories. Do you get it now? Then you'll be writing them based on what. So one of them is I said you need to create a lead from opportunity. Okay. So you need to, maybe before end of today, we'll try to see, right? But or not. So maybe it's even better not to show you, right? Write the story for us, then we'll go through it maybe next week. Do you get it now? So that is one. So from that, okay. So this story is good. You've written everything that is required. So, and you said required field should contain, which I don't totally agree, right? So does everyone agree with this one? Additional information, right?
I think we kind of went through a little bit what it entails when we were kind of together the last time. And I think as a group decided that this was what we could come up with. I don't know if there's any
What
other
is
contribution.
wrong? I just want someone to point it out because of the time that we have so that we can make use of this time. So what is wrong with this story, Ras?
Hello, Mr. Gigi.
Yeah,
I think some of those fields are not required.
thank you. I thought, yeah, some of those feed are not required. So by saying the required feed is totally wrong. Okay. So, and I think you need to kind of split them into two. That is one point. Another thing, I know a lot of people use additional information, put everything, but sometimes when you put additional information like that, it's easy for people to lose the importance of that information because they thought, okay, just addendum, right? So, but try as much as possible not to be putting in information that are important in the additional information. But this, because there's nothing wrong with putting this and say, then the required fee should be, and then the optional fee should be. Do you get it now? It can still come in a then form, right? So that's another thing, so that this one can be validated as well by the keyway. Do you get it now? Otherwise, keyway might ignore them as just extra information. Do you get the point?
Yes. Okay.
Okay. All right, cool. So this is good. So if you can kind of, modify this one, right?
Yes.
Then, so what I'm expecting this, Scrum Master to do, right? If you can do it right now, right? So create a related story, right? Let's try to create that so that we can assign to someone or maybe to one or two people. So put on related link, click on related link on the right. Yeah. So we're going to create one story that related to this, but not the same. Yeah, new item. We can say creating lead from opportunity.
Okay.
So it will be related. No, the type should be related.
Related, okay.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. So, and the task will be PBIs, yeah, product backlog item. And the title is where, you can, creating
lead from
opportunity. Yeah, you omitted R in the, Okay, all right, cool. So you can save that, click OK and save it. So then let's assign it to someone who wants to take responsibility for this, or maybe 2 or 3 people, or
Yeah,
So
you can put it down.
Okay. Can you assign to, no, you shouldn't close it. Can you click open it again? Right. No, down, go down. Yeah, yeah, that. Click on that. Yeah.
Okay.
That's it. Yeah.
So you can assign, go to assigned.
On top? Yeah, sorry.
Oh, no, right, left, rather. Left, go left. Yeah, where you have on assigned. Yeah. Oluwole, let's see if, can you
Type it in. You can type my name, Oluwole, to come up. Search. Yeah.
click on search. Yeah. Click on search.
That's,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay. All right. Do we have any other person that wants to work with Oluwole on this? Okay. Can you click on tag? This is another way to actually use it. Okay. And we have some people raising their hands. Okay. Click on add tag.
Add
On
tag.
up. Yeah,
Yeah.
that one. Yeah. And type Motunrayo.
Okay.
OS.
I think Folusha 2 is there. I think
Folusha,
just send
okay.
the group
Press
here.
enter.
Enter. Okay.
Yeah. Then okay. Then Folusha.
Folusha, right?
Yeah.
Yes, Folusha.
Okay. All right. And then put this in BA. Okay. The state should be BA. States on the left.
Left states.
New, yeah, that's it. Where new is that new? Yeah, yeah.
Okay, so you guys did not create the states. Yeah. Okay. All right. So it's okay. Put a new. I think the Scrum Master did not do a better job on this. So, or maybe you were not able to create that anyway, but that's fine. So it can be on new anyway. So basically what we have is a vanilla state anyway. So which is you didn't actually update the state. So which is okay anyway. Let's continue. All right.
Yeah.
So
Quick one. Sorry, I noticed that. Yeah, sorry, I noticed the fact that because when we wrote the stories, I wanted to put it in BA done. I noticed that it was not there. I was not wondering whether is this something to do with Dynamic 365, whether they don't also have those features, and is it something we can still add to the board?
okay. So it's
sorry, Deji, and we wanted to do it when we're creating the board, but we didn't have access. We didn't have the full.
All right, cool.
Yeah.
Okay. I think don't worry anyway. So it's not going to be a long project, just a simple one for you to carry on. And like I said, this is we are not going to be teaching Azure DevOps here or how to, but this should still be fine anyway. So you just need to put it on new, So then once it's ready from BA perspective, then you can put it on approve anyway. So that's fine. So so we can carry on with that anyway. So let's save and close on this. And also I think it was Oluwole that was talking, just to address that. There is totally difference between Azure DevOps and Dynamics. Do you get it now? They are not going to interfere with one another, if that's okay. Okay. All right. So it seems you don't even have permission to add tags. Okay.
Does not have permission.
Okay. All right. So okay. So I think some of the Scrum Masters has got the admin privilege anyway. So, but that's fine. So you can put it in the comments anyway, right?
Okay.
Comment discussion, yeah.
Okay.
And just say at Folusha.
Okay.
Folusha. Search. Click on search. Space.
There's no H. There's no H.
There's no H. Okay. Remove the H. Click on search. Okay. Click on that. Yeah. Then space. Then at Motunrayo. MOT. Then you can click on search anyway. Click on search. It's going to bring you out if it's there. So it shows that Motunrayo is not there anyway. Complete Motunrayo. And then put a comment there. Can you guys, work with Oluwole on this? Yeah.
All right.
Okay. All right. Cool. Save at the bottom. Then remove the tag at the top, all right, and then save and close. Click on the X on this cross.
This, yeah?
Yeah.
Yes.
Then save and close. Okay, let's quickly go back to your board and see what's next. Okay, so error messages. Yeah, we spoke about this as well anyway. So, okay, this error messages is not really clear, right? Error message on what form?
Okay.
Because if you talk about error message, there will be a lot of error messages. Hope you got that right.
Yes, but when we're looking at the error messages when you're creating the lead on the lead form now.
So
yes.
then it has to be on the title, right? Error message while
Okay,
creating
sorry.
lead.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm on it. Error message while creating lead.
Okay, can we put at the top? Right?
Yes, error message while creating lead. You can refresh. I've done that.
Okay.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
All right,
Yeah.
brilliant. So, okay, so with this now, there'll be some other stories as well, right? So
Yeah.
there'll be error messages while creating opportunities as well, right? So there'll be, and you've only added one acceptance criteria, right? And I know that there'll be more than that, right?
No, we separated it into different PBIs because we don't want to put it together. I think the last time
Okay.
instead of putting it together, we should write separate PBIs for it.
Okay, all right, let's see that quickly. Can you go back to the board?
We have like 6 error messages, 3 error messages. Yeah. Yes. So invalid email address error message.
Okay.
Required field error message.
All right, cool. Okay. So, okay, let's try to kind of complete that. Is it written already? Right.
Yes, written. It's written. Please, if you click it.
All right. So
Error message, yeah.
No, I think we've opened this one. If you open the other one, right?
Yeah.
So error messages required field. Okay. So this is good as well. Okay. So now you need to also make it specific. Error messages while creating lead. Yeah, require field. Okay. So you need to, if you can put that in there. All right. So, and let's do we have the testers? Any of the testers that want to pick this up to test? Any of the testers volunteer? Because to be honest, there's no how you're going to learn this without having to work on it. Do you get it now? So that's the problem. You go for some training, and the same thing applies to me, guys. Yeah, I need to tell you. Data analysis, I've attended a lot of training, even though it's happening in my house. I'm the one organizing it. But I attend, but I don't work on it. Until one day at work, I had to do pivot table. To be honest, it was terrible. And I'll say, I've been attending a lot of DA training and I organize them, but now I have to do pivot table. But good thing is that even though I've been listening, I know that what I needed to use was pivot table. That's the lesson I learned, and what I learned through the data analysis training, right? But I didn't pay attention on how to do it, right? But one thing I know that is a pivot table, but I was able to do it quickly, right? Anyway, so that's why I'm encouraging you to get your hand dirty. Don't just listen, right? Of course, listening is good. It's not like it's wasted anyway. You're going to, the fact that you've listened to it is not going to be new, right? But it would be better if you actually worked on it and you have an environment to work on it anyway. So let's get to keyways to work on these stories. Okay, before I go, do we have a keyway lead? How many keyways do we have? Can we raise our hands? Keyways. Okay. Arola. Okay. Is the only one keyway? Okay. Nathan. Anyone? Okay, yeah, that's what. Okay, you can raise your hand, please. Yeah. So is it only three keywords? Okay. All right. Can we have a lead? Do you guys want to volunteer? One person, one of you wants to volunteer to be lead? Who? Are
Yes, sir.
you want to be lead?
Yeah, fine. I'll do that.
Okay. It's okay,
All right. Okay, all right. So, all right. So what you need to do now, put the name of these three people, right? So, and if you can assign, can we go back? Okay, go back to the board. Hold on, because
All
you've
right.
been doing it in a wrong way. What you need to do is click on that cross at the end, on the left, on the right. Yeah. Yeah, right. Up a bit, up. Yeah, that one. Yeah, that's what you need to be doing. Okay. Close it, then it takes you back to the board. If you click on back, it will take you out of the board. Okay. All right. Cool. Okay. So, all right, if you can do something for me, all these stories now. Okay. Before we do that, I think this story should be in BA done, and I think in approve. Let's quickly look at them. Okay. Can you put these two in committed for me? Those in BA done, put them in committed, so they are ready for the keywords to pick them up. Okay. And if you can speak to your guys and start, let them start working on it. Any issues, let them post it on the board, okay? If that's okay.
Okay.
All right, cool. So let's look at the other one quickly, right?
Required field?
Yes, please. Okay, given I want the create form leads anyway, so, and I leave the required field, yeah. So, okay. So we had another one before for required field, is that right?
Yes, that one is what's the difference? Isn't that one? Yeah. Well,
So
this
let's
one is
check.
if you leave it blank. So that one is if you're filling incorrectly.
Okay, how do you know if you're filling it incorrectly? What is it?
For example, if you're putting numbers, we're thinking that probably if you're putting numbers in where you're going to put in your first name or your last name as the required field, maybe it should be an error message there.
I don't think so. That's where you might need to be a bit more specific in terms of the field itself. Do you get it now? So for instance, now require field in terms of name, right? Require field in terms of email address, right? With email address, right, you want to cover a lot of permutations. Do you get it now? If you have email address without the @ if you have email address without the dot, do you get it now? What are the things that can make what you're talking about is invalid email addresses now. Do you get it now? I'm not sure you have that. Do you get it now? So in itself, that should be another story.
Invalid. I think we have one on that, sir. We have one on the valid email address. Yes.
So this now we can say, hold on, we can say required field, right? When creating a lead, but which required field, right? We want to say, let's say we focus this one on name. Or do you get it now? Last name, right? Okay. So if you left the last name blank, then you get an error message. Do you get it now? So you need to update this and be specific. Okay. Instead of saying when I leave require field, when I leave the last name blank, do you get it now? And click on save. Okay.
Okay, done.
So, and also change the title as well.
Yes, please.
Okay.
Yes, please.
All right, cool. So I think with that, I think it's fine. So then I should see the error message, require field must not. So yeah, so you need to be specific on the message as well. So unfortunately, so I think you also need to kind of go into the application and see the error message, put the right error message there. Okay. So you will take this exercise, okay, to be, okay, let me see. when you are writing a story, this is a question for the PS now. When you are writing a story for an application that's already developed, what type of scenarios is that? What type of terminologies do you need to use? Or what type of application is that? What are you trying to do anyway? So I don't want to give the answer. So yeah, anyway, so that's what I'm trying to paraphrase anyway.
Yeah.
So yeah.
User story in the user's perspective.
There's a particular terminology I'm looking for to address what you're trying to do when you are writing a requirement for its application that's already developed, right? And you are trying to capture the requirements, right?
BDD.
No.
No.
I'm looking for 4-letter word, but like 2 words being put together, right? Four-letter word, but they're like 2. It's a compound word actually, and there are two different versions. You have the opposite and the you can have the opposite of that as well anyway, and it starts with A.
Sasha.
Actor.
No.
Asat.
No, I said 4-letter.
Okay, 4. Okay, tax.
No.
A. Action. No.
Okay, all right. So when you are creating a story for an application that's not yet developed, it is to be. Okay, you are creating like a to be story. Do you get it now? That means how the application should be. Do you get it now? But when you are writing a story for application that is already developed and you want to write it, okay, because I don't want to say what I'm looking for. So you are actually creating assist story. Exactly, writing it as it is. Do you get it now? So for this one is like an assist story, because you have an application. And also, why do you need to do that, right? Because sometimes when people are doing migration story, right, you would create how it is presently, so that if that application is not changing, but they're only changing the technology behind the application, right? So you would be called on as a BA to write assist, write the story how the application is moving, because we are trying to create another that particular application again, but we are not changing the requirements, but we want to capture what it should do, so that when the application is ready, your story will form the basis of it. Do you get it now?
Okay.
Yeah. So if you run the story now, and the error message that is there, can you put that in there? Okay. All right, cool. So let's go back again, right, to the story. So, and move that to, if you can move that to approve and make the changes, right, and then you can commit that so that So let's look at the next one. Okay, all right. So duplicate information. What do you mean by duplicate information within dynamic space, right?
Okay, if I just read the PBI, as a salesperson, I want to be notified of duplicated registration so that the credentials are not repeated. So given that I am on the Dynamic 365 page, when I click on the new button and I fill in an existing registered credentials and I click on save, then I should see an error message, duplicate info found. What I mean is, if peradventure you've actually registered as a lead, you've created a lead initially, and maybe you are now inputting the same data for that same person, and you don't know that you've created it before, maybe somebody on the team has already done. So maybe there should be an error message that says duplicate information. I think this is just one of the things we thought of when we're actually having the discussion.
It's good, actually. It's really, really good that you thought about that. But even and it's great that is coming on. But unfortunately, from the registration point of view of a salesperson, right, the functionality I don't think is there yet. Do you get it now? However, right, there may be a way to address this, right? Of course, you need to explain when you say duplicate, what exactly is the field that you want to use to establish it. Do you get it now? Because you can't just say the record is duplicate, but how do you differentiate when it's duplicate? And your story should explicitly state that. Do you get it now? How you can differentiate, how you can actually say it's a duplicate, right? The fact that you and I, we got the same accent, we got the same color, does not mean that we are duplicates, right?
Yes.
Even we might even have the same name as well, right? So, but what would differentiate the person from another person? Do you get it now? They might have the same name, right? The same
Yes.
address, the same everything. Do you get it now? Do you want to say they are duplicates? Right. And in some cases, you might have one account appearing twice because like companies will want to say, yes, we need two accounts to be able to address this. Do you get it now? So,
Okay.
but how do you want to differentiate if they are duplicate? One way is to have is when company will now update dynamics for this purpose. Do you get it now? Adding another field in there, right? That field will not be, let's say Blue Sky now, right? And I know I've seen different names on the platform, and some names are totally the same, right? For let's say, for instance, now let's a good example would be Coyote, right? And Coyote, what's the surname? Don't tell him he's allowed. Because there's one Coyote allowed as well anyway. So, but yeah, so it's possible we have something names like that that are really, really the same. So because their names are similar or they're the same does not mean the same record. Do you get it now? So for you to do that, you might need to add another field to dynamics. That's another thing that the consultant would do. And they will, let's say in Blue Sky now, you will not say internship ID. Do you get it now? Intern ID or student ID. So that one should be, what's it called? Now, okay, maybe I should not say that. So coming to the DAs now, right? DA, if you have to enter this into the record, right, in the database, right, the student ID should be what? Any of the DAs. Yeah?
Unique.
Unique, right? Yeah, you'll be unique. That's not the only thing, right? There's a particular word I'm looking for, which, yeah, also wrapped up in that unique anyway. So
Discrete.
not really. Yeah. This particular field is what you will now use to identify a record, right? If you use a field to identify a record in a SQL, what does that call? What is that called?
Primary key.
Primary key.
Thank you. It's a primary key. So you will need to introduce a primary key into the record, right? And like I said before, right, every record or every post in Dynamics is got its record in database, right? So technically, what they're talking about now is a data integrity issue, right? From the point of view, how do we ensure that the data is the right data, and how do we also clean the data? So, you know, if you don't enter the right data at the beginning, you've already set yourself for failure, right? So you need to ensure that if you can control the data entry to get a cleaner record is better than having to now start to clean up. Do you get it now? So you need to include a primary key, right? So, and if you have a primary key for the lead, right? And you want to use that primary key for the opportunity, what does that become? And when we have opportunity table. So that's a question for the DAs as well. Any of the DAs. So now let me rephrase that again. I've got a record, a lead record, right? That's what we are looking at, right? And I've created a primary key for the lead, right? And I know that we we can create an opportunity, right? And then link it with a lead, right? But now I am bringing that record, right, that I've created for the lead, I am attaching it to an opportunity, right? If the primary key that I created for the lead is now being added to the opportunity, what is that primary key called within the opportunity table?
Foreign key.
Thank you so much, Felicia. Yeah, that Felicia, you're a BA, right?
He's a DA.
BA.
It's BA.
BA or DA?
BA.
Both.
Bravo Alpha.
Bravo Alpha, exactly. So I don't know. Okay, all right. So someone is saying you're also a DA anyway. So anyway, so yeah, so that is the right answer anyway. So it's a foreign key, right? A foreign key is a primary key of another table, which is appearing in a different table, right? So for opportunity in itself is a table, right? Lead will also be a table. When we are creating a lead, right, from an opportunity, right, we are going to be attaching the primary key of that particular table, right, for the lead into the opportunity anyway. So even though we are not exposing the primary keys that we are using right now into the forms, at the back end of all these entities, they are primary keys. They are GUID, okay, GUID primary keys anyway. That's what's at the back end, right? But you don't want to say, okay, I want to enter, I want to give student ID, and you now put a GUID. Okay, maybe I should ask, does anyone know what's a GUID? GUID, G-U-I-D, okay? What's a GUID? GUID. So,
I think I know.
okay.
That's global unique identifier. So it's like is I don't know how to put it, but it's a lot of string. Like when I mean string is like letters, and they are separated by a dash. Like each four, I think there are 16 in number in length.
16, yeah. Okay, thank you, everyone. So there are 16 characters long, right? So, and they are used to identify an entity. So most of us will have seen it anyway, whether is license key or that you've used to enter for your application or something like that. So, and at the back of all this record, there's a GUI, right? So you don't want to give a, let's say I want to give Abimbola a student ID now, and I gave him a GUID and 16 characters, and I said, this is your student ID. It's not going to be able to remember that. Okay. So, but having said that, so what you need to do is to now represent that with a different ID, right? So that's what the consultant would do, right? They would introduce another field onto the form, right? And then that field will be unique, right? And also that field will now be a primary key within that particular table. So if that's okay, I know maybe for some people I've lost them because we are talking about primary key and everything, but this is basically related to the DS anyway. And maybe also for the keywords, you need to know them as well. So anyway, so yeah, okay. Any questions? So before we go, right, quickly, I need the BAs, because I know some people might have just joined, the BAs to raise their hand so that BA leads can know who are the guys that are going to be working on the stories, right? BA, quickly, can you raise your hand up for me, please? Okay, 3 people. And no, okay. Zapo, I think Zapo is not a BA, right? So you want to lower your hand, Zapo.
Yes, Zapo.
So Oluwale, can you note those people? I think we have 3 BAs, right? And the keywords, please. Let's go for the keywords. So if you can assign the stories to them, let's ensure that we get it done, right? All those stories that I've said now. So this one, Oluwale, needs to be updated as well, based on the information I gave you, right? And the same thing applies to other error messages as well. You need to, don't make it generic. I think that's what you've done, right? Make it specific, right? And also you need to also look at the required one, and also there is also optional one. And I said there's another one as well. There's another specific field that you need to concentrate on, right? It is not required, it's not optional. What is it called?
Optional. No,
No,
it's not optional.
It's not
No.
optional, it's not required. It is represented by a symbol on dynamics as well. Does anyone remember I mentioned
The asterisk one.
asterisk, but what is the difference between, because required is also asterisk as well.
Okay.
So what's the difference between yeah?
One has a red color, one has a blue color.
Blue.
Thank you, Hafsat. Okay, which one is red, which one is blue?
Required is red.
Thank you. Required is red, and
Red,
also
yeah.
the yeah. So, and that also takes me back to the stories that I've approved anyway. That story about the form that you created, right? That's talked about the additional information. You need to put that information there as well. That name field or last name is required, and it's got asterisk, and the color of asterisk is red. Do you get it now?
Yes.
And maybe what other, maybe the first name is not required, but it is recommended, right? Recommended is what I'm looking for, right? And it's got asterisk, and the asterisk is blue. You get it now? So those are, you need to add them also to the stories, okay?
Yes, please.
All right. So also, and a task for the Scrum Master. I know you've been listening as well. So please ensure that, yeah, all these tasks are done before when we meet, okay? So that we can have discussion about that. And also review the stories with them as well. Review the story. So because by looking at them, you also get knowledge from it anyway, okay? So that's what we're going to do. Then next week, we start to talk about opportunities, how to create opportunity, but the story will be already created, right? And we will be able to go through that if that's okay. Okay. Any question before we leave? Any question? Any question? Okay. If there's no question, thank you so much for this opportunity to